there is a sort of a trivia actually, I would say. When you say Monaco, one would wonder how come the founders thought of naming such a lovely name. But actually, it's nothing but it stands for Mohanlal, Nathalal and Company. So it's an abbreviation of Monaco. We want to be there. We want to be seen with our brands wherever the
Mhm.
eyeballs are there. So if the eyeballs are on television, we'll be there for sure.
Mhm.
If the eyeballs are moving to digital, we'll be there as well. But I think the most critical
Mhm.
job on hand for a brand manager is to get a mind space in the consumer's mind.
Welcome to the Growth Genius, brought to you by Infidigit. I'm Kaushal Thakkar, founder of Infidigit and your host for this show. I love Parle-G biscuits, and I believe that many of you would also have relished either a Parle-G, Monaco, or a hide and seek. Today, we have a special growth genius with us. He's a senior category head marketing at Parle Products Private Limited and a leader who has built some of the most popular brands and which are creating global impact. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Krishnarao Buddha. Hello, Mr. Krishnarao. We are delighted to have you with us today. How are you doing today?
Oh, thank you so much, Kaushal. Thank you very much for the lovely introduction. I'm doing good. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Mr. Krishnarao, while most of our audience loves Parle-G, Melody, Crackjack, and other products that you have built over the years, many of them may not be aware about the genius minds that have made this brand successful. So while I have definitely gone ahead and did the best introduction from my side, it will help if you tell us a little more about Mr. Krishna Rao as an individual.
All right. Well, for those who do not know me, I'm currently working in the role of a senior category head marketing with Parle Products, and I've been working with Parle for about 21 plus years now. And prior to that, I have worked for about 6 years in several organizations like Maxwell Apparels. It's a VIP group company, predominantly into innerwears. Then I worked for Uncle Chips. Who doesn't know Uncle Chips? And then I also had a stint with a Dabur Nestle joint venture called Excelsia Foods. And then I moved on to join Gold Cross Limited, which is an OTC. It's a startup for OTC pharma. It's a OTC pharma company
Mhm.
before joining Parle. So at Parle, I lead the entire salty snacks, part of biscuits and bakery category, and the recently
Nice.
launched breakfast cereals as well. So,
Wonderful.
so that's a little bit about me, and
Mhm.
yeah. So my journey here has been very, very, very exciting, and a lot more excitement in store for us. I've been privileged to have launched a brand like Kacha Mango Bite. Kacha Mango
Yeah.
Bite was launched sometime in 2004, and it's
Mhm.
become a runaway success. I've been again privileged to nurture and grow certain iconic brands at Parle, like Melody, like Poppins, like Kiss Me, and in as far as salty snacks. So I've been able to also launch the entire new categories like salty snacks and breakfast cereals. So salty snacks, we have Parle's wafers, full toss, and chutkin. So we have both mix of Western and traditional snacks, and these are doing extremely well for us. And these are our new growth drivers. And breakfast cereals is the latest entrant, which we launched sometime around last year. So it's been just a little over a year that we've had presence in breakfast cereals. It's called hide and seek fills. So these are chocolate center filled breakfast cereals, and these are doing exceedingly well as well. Yeah, that's a bit about me. Yeah.
That's really good. And 21 years in a particular organization, that speaks a lot, both about the individual and as well as about the organization. What
Thank you.
is your advice for leaders and team members in order to see more such long term synergies happening between organization and its people? What would be your advice?
So my advice, rather than an advice, I think I would cite a reason. So basically, we need to attract positive energy. First of all, wherever, whichever organization you are sort of associated with, I think it is of utmost importance that one need to really spread and attract positive energy. So once that happens,
Okay.
so at least that's been my reason for such a
Hmm.
long standing. Actually, I'll tell you, when during my interview time, when
Hmm.
my then would be boss asked me, because in a span of 6 years before joining Parle, so you had changed four companies, so you don't have stability. So I said, okay, precisely, I'm applying to Parle for stability. So I told him that I would want to stay here for 3 years. And then he was like happy. Okay, 3 years seems to be a good target. But 3 years
Okay.
went on to become five, and five now to 21 plus years now. But
Really nice.
so it's extremely mutual, I would say. So
Hmm.
what I am giving for the organization is very, very important. At the same time,
True.
what is the organization offering you? I think it's a
Hmm.
mutual give and take. So
True.
in my case, I got consistent growth. I got consistent satisfaction. Job satisfaction is something that is extremely important, and that has, and also it gives me a lot of autonomy to drive the business as a business owner.
Nice.
I think that is
Hmm.
something drives me extremely passionately towards working on the brands that I've been assigned to. I think that's been my outlook, and I think I would urge all the new upcoming business leaders to look up to this as a philosophy. So money is one thing, okay, but I think what is more important is to look at a work life balance. So one needs to get inner satisfaction when you are associated with any organization. If you are able to derive that, I think you'll be happy and you'll be able to contribute a lot more to the organization that you are associated.
Thank you, Mr. Krishnarao. And I can connect a lot with that particular thing because I am a big fan of gratitude and positive energy myself. I maintain a daily gratitude journal, and that's something which keeps me also in that positive zone. So thanks a lot for that particular answer. In terms of Parle, it became the first packaged food company in India to make more than 2 billion USD in sales recently. This was a big deal because this is the first time when a company in India has made so much revenue, and specifically in the packaged food industry, right? What was the revenue, let's say, when you joined 21 years back, roughly, if you remember that?
Of course, I do remember. So when I joined Parle had just achieved a 1,000 crore turnover.
Oh, wow.
So from 1,000 to 16,000 crore plus, so roughly like more than $2 billion. I think it's been an iconic journey. It's been like, no, so I think it's the simple reason has always been the core, I would say, policy at Parle has been always to be extremely to be able to empathize with our consumers and always be willing to offer what our consumers want. I think that is the philosophy that has actually driven us to achieve such a landmark. And because see, India is a land of ocean, it's an ocean of opportunity, and there is like no tremendous. Not just now, we are not restricting ourselves only to India. I think we are looking at the entire globe as a market and as an opportunity, and to feed them with our products. So I think with such an objective, wherein we want our brands to play a critical role in the lives of people, in the lives of our prospects, I think that is what keeps us going and helps us
Nice.
achieve certain landmarks. So landmarks is by the way, but I think our core
Yes.
purpose of the business is to
Yeah.
actually fulfill the need gap of our consumers. I think that's important.
And that's something which speaks about it. Yes, as a brand, Parle is highly respected, and definitely, who doesn't know the number of brands like Parle-G, Hide and Seek, and others that you have created over these years?
True.
Mr. Krishna Rao, during the introduction, you mentioned something about hide and seek fields, which is a new entrant to the cereal market in India. We would love to understand more about the marketing strategy you are following for such a kind of brand, which is very new. What is your view on that?
So we are always on the lookout for opportunities across categories. So when we looked within, I would say that what Parle had to offer. So of course we've had presence in biscuits, confectionery, salty snacks, bakery products, packaged data. So we felt okay, there could be a synergy with breakfast cereals as well. And so we've recently, in around 2017, 2018, we launched a new division called Parle Platina, so which is the premium offering of our products.
Yeah.
So hide and seek is a brand which falls under Parle Platina, and we felt that there would be extreme synergy. And hide and seek, the core of hide and seek is actually chocolate. It's a choco
Hmm.
chip biscuit,
True.
world's first molded chocolate chip cookie. So if we lend hide and seek as a brand to breakfast cereals, it can do wonders. And we came up with a breakfast cereal which has chocolate filling inside. So again, the proposition, the core of the product remains the same, and hence hide and seek fills. So today, a child is looking for different alternatives as a breakfast. So a mother finds it extremely challenging to feed the child with a breakfast. So he runs away the moment he sees milk. He doesn't want to have a milk. Okay, so it becomes very easy if we offer a brand like Hide and Seek Fills, which is loaded with chocolate, and the moment, so you can have it as a sweet snack. If you want, it's
Hmm.
available at 10 rupees.
Yeah.
We started with a
Yes.
10 rupee pouch, and it's in a Luddy format. And we've recently also launched a 200-gram pack, which is a stand-up pack, and which is for
Hmm.
modern trade or e-commerce channel as well. So somebody wants to have, like, as a regular portion, so one can look at having the large pack as well. But with the
Nice.
smaller pack, the advantage is actually you can have smaller and controlled portions. Now it
Hmm.
becomes basically, it works in two ways. The child loves the product because it has got lovely chocolate, and at the same time the mother is fine because she is able to feed the child, because the child is interested in having identical fills along with milk. So you can have it
True.
as a sweet snack as it is, okay, without
True.
milk. And you can also have it in a bowl of milk. The moment you put milk in a bowl with a identical fills, it almost turns out to be like a chocolate milkshake,
Yes.
and that is yummy for the child, and it solves the mother's problem as well. And she is very happy and the child is happy. So it plays a critical role in the life of a mother and a child, and that's how we've been getting a very, very welcoming response in the market.
Nice. And it's just to tell you, it's not only the childs and the kids. Even I love sometimes have this crunchies. They're really crunchy and they're chocolatey. I have it without milk, although, but they're really nice product. So thanks for
Absolutely,
launching that.
absolutely, thank
Good.
you.
In terms of Parle-G biscuits, you've handled that major legacy biscuit brand, and that we had it many years back, at least when we were kids, and we are having it these days also, and everybody loves it and enjoys it. What were the challenges which you came across while building Parle-G biscuits as a brand? If any challenges and any solutions which you found to those challenges, if you could share with us, that would be really helpful.
So actually, so the story goes long. So I'll go to the, for which I'll have to give you a background. So in
Sure.
1929 is when we started our business with confectionery. The founder started selling confectionery on a bicycle, mind you. This was in 1929. But 10 years later, as the business started flourishing, so we thought that there was a greater opportunity in biscuits. And that is the time when we launched two brands in biscuits. One was Parle Glucose biscuits. The other one was Parle Monaco. And there is a sort of a trivia, actually, I would say. When you say Monaco, one would wonder how come the founders thought of naming such a lovely name. But
Hmm.
actually, it's nothing but it stands for Mohanlal, Nathalal and Company.
Oh, wonderful.
It's an abbreviation of Monaco. So,
That's I never realized that. Super.
yeah, yeah. So when I got to know, and I was also like enthralled by that, and I said, "Wow, this is amazing." All right. So as far as the Parle Glucose biscuits is concerned, so the journey began because the thought and ideology was uh, there were only imported biscuits available, and they were very expensive. Not all Indians were able to afford. So only a very handful of Indians were able to afford such biscuits. So the founders' philosophy and the thought process was, we want to create our own biscuits. We want to offer biscuits which can be easily afforded by each Indian. So very very affordable biscuits, and that's how Parle glucose and glucose biscuits give us instant dose of energy. It became went on to become instant hit actually. But so as we progressed into 10, 20, 30 years, we felt that there was a greater opportunity. Suddenly competition, all kinds of competitions took notice of such of our brand, and they started coming with their own version of glucose biscuits, and that became extremely challenging for us because we wanted to create a differentiator. So we thought, okay, so everyone is calling glucose biscuit because it's generic. We thought, okay, we'll create a differentiation by calling it Parle Gluco. So instead of glucose, we made it
Mhm.
Parle Gluco. But
Yeah.
even then, it was still sounding very close to glucose. And sometime around the 70s, when the market started really exploding, is when we
Mhm.
felt, okay, so instead of this, can we actually shorten it further and can we call it Parle G? As in G has a meaning like glucose stands for glucose. G also stands for respect in India. So, and importantly, now we have given it a new dimension by saying that G stands for genius. And basically, it gives you instant, not just physical strength, but it also makes you mentally agile, and it explodes lots of creativity, thoughts, idea, and keeps you mentally active as well. So, those were extremely challenging times, but yet another after that there was a new journey, and again yet another challenge that a brand like Parle-G faced was we were under tremendous short supply. Our factories were not able to ship out the kind of product demand that was generated in the market, and we started setting up factory after factory after factory, but that was not enough. And sometime around the 90s, with lot of reluctance and hesitation, when we decided to go for outsourcing, so that was
Okay.
absolutely a very very novel and new concept. There were a lot of
Mhm.
concerns, inhibitions, whether we'll be able to offer consistency, whether a recipe will be out in the market, and things like that. But somehow we've been able to overcome that very very efficiently, and actually that business model has helped us to scale the
Nice.
business to extremely extremely higher levels. And also it has helped us to work on principles like just in time and the shortest route to the market. So we currently, as we speak today, we have more than 130 contract manufacturers with whom we work, and it helps us reach our consumers at the earliest, at in the shortest possible time, and that gives
Mhm.
us a lot of advantage, competitive advantage. And that's how we sort of overcame, and the journey goes on. I think challenges will be a part of the business.
Thank you. The other thing which you were mentioning was about namkeens. That's the other category that you take care of. In the current day and age, people are becoming more and more conscious about their health. And that's where namkeens sometimes become a challenge for this kind of people. How do you see the consumption pattern of namkeens changing because of this particular trend or fad? I don't know, but numbers would tell us whether it's actually a fad or trend. Has the consumption actually changed?
Yeah, so actually speaking, I would say the consumption is shooting up like anything. It's increasing. It's increasing.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll tell you. So, like I said, salty snacks is classified into two broad categories. One is the
Hmm.
Western snacks. So when I say Western, what does Western snack include? So Western snacks includes potato chips, then
Hmm.
extruded snacks like full toss, say Kurkure, Tede Mede kind of brands. Then there are extruded snacks like the cheese balls, wheels, etc. All those are also, and then nacho chips. These are all examples of Western snacks. And then the traditional namkeens, the traditional snacks are the typical bhujiyas, the mixtures, the moong dals, the peanuts, the coated peanuts, etc. And all these form the traditional Indian ethnic snacks. And be it Western snack or be it the traditional Indian snack, the growth rates are phenomenal, and every part of India will have a very very unique offering in terms of the Indian ethnic snacks. Western
Hmm.
snacks, the distribution is gearing up so much that we are able to give an access to our brands to consumers in the rural markets, because rural markets do not really have easy access to such snacks. But traditional snacks are made anywhere and everywhere, so consumers at least have that access. But the change that we are noticing is that there is a rapid change taking place across the country, particularly in the tier 2, tier 3 towns and the rural markets, where consumers are upgrading from unorganized to organized, from unbranded to branded. And there we are seeing a terrific growth coming in. So there are certain markets which are like hubs of snacks. So entire north, there is a terrific consumption. There is an extremely high consumption of snacks, be it Western snacks, be it traditional snacks. Markets like Rajasthan are the hub for the traditional snacks. Markets like Punjab, UP, these are like massive snacking markets. Market like in West, the market like Gujarat is such a massive market. Oh my goodness, there would be more than 40, 50 companies or even more. Those are producing snacks and all kinds of snacks, and they're thriving and they're succeeding left, right, and center. And we have emerged a lot of emerging brands. The regional brands are becoming almost national brands coming from Gujarat. So we have likewise MP, Chhattisgarh. We have a lot of local brands taking up good shape and coming to the national prominence level. So the opportunity is immense, and we also down south also we have certain brands which are doing extremely well, and consumers have been loving those. So we are trying to customize our offering. Say, for example, for southern markets, we have launched like South Indian mixture or butter murukku.
Mhm.
So these are exclusive offerings for those markets. For Western markets, we have launched Save Murmura, but we are getting fantastic response in markets like Bihar for such a product and a few
Mhm.
other markets. So different markets behave differently, but the growth is immense across geographies, I would say.
And then definitely when you speak of peanuts, dal, and several other products, the Indian products specifically, those are all healthy. So definitely even the health conscious people must be relishing it. But thanks
Absolutely,
a lot for that answer. Nice.
absolutely.
Krishna, one other question. I'm not sure if this is the right question to ask a parent if which of his or her child is the favorite. But in your case, which of the Parle brands is your favorite brand?
Okay. Personally, I would say I just simply love Monaco. Monaco biscuits are my favorite. I just love Monaco. And we have yet another brand called Top, Parle Top biscuits. So these are like extremely amazing biscuits. In snacks, I love cream and onion. I love potato chips. I love particularly Say Murmura. I think that's my favorite. So I feel this is least guilty when I have say murmura, because I really feel it's almost healthy product. So I just love and relish these products. And as far as confectionery is concerned, I just love Melody and Kiss Me. Those are my all-time favorites. I just love them.
Thanks, at least that helps. Melody is something which I also yet have it sometimes, but yeah, with number of years, I would say sometimes the interest level goes up because of the
Correct.
other side effects. But yes, that's yet something which I yet relish. So thanks for bringing those kind of brands to the Indian market, Mr. Krishna. Something around the brand managers that may be working around in your team, and you've come across in contact with so many brand managers. How has the role of a brand manager changed in the new age of marketing?
Yeah, I think so. It's becoming extremely challenging. So I remember when I was a product manager or a brand manager, so my job was relatively very, very, very easy, because there was, I would say, there were only barely two or three channels. Okay, so I'm talking about the media landscape. So it was very easy. So to advertise on Doordarshan, on DD Metro, on maybe Sony and Z, that's about it, and maybe a Star.
Uh,
But
True.
today, with more than like 1,000, 1,200 channels, it becomes extremely challenging to plan media.
Mhm.
So that is one
Yes.
aspect of it, first of all, because media has become extremely fragmented. Okay,
Mhm.
and the landscape is rapidly changing. Every 2 3 years there is a rapid change, and we have
Mhm.
seen key events like demonetization, GST, and now COVID. So these are
Mhm.
three key events which has bought in, and one more event, the launch of 4G and now 5G. So
Thanks.
these are the events which have brought in extreme changes in the landscape of consumer market, I would say.
Mhm.
and in the lives of consumers, in the lives of you and me, people like you and me.
Mhm.
So what has happened is the task for a brand manager
Mhm.
initially was again very easy, to get a
Yeah.
brand name, to launch. But now
Mhm.
there are more and more and more brands getting launched every day. Every other day
True.
there are several new brands that are getting launched. So which means the consumers are bombarded with so much of information in the mind, so it becomes extremely critical to
Mhm.
retain which brand was launched, what was the flavor, what was the name, what was the product, etc., etc. And
Mhm.
that's one. So from a trade perspective, to build distribution channel is also becoming that much more difficult. Say from a
Mhm.
trade perspective, the retailer gets bombarded, so he says, how many brands are you launching every day, morning, evening? Some salesman comes and he says, मेरा ये माल ले लो, वो माल ले लो, अभी ये नया लॉन्च किया, वो नया लॉन्च किया. He says, you
Yeah.
companies are launching left, right and center. I don't have space, मेरा जगह तो उतना ही है. So that is becoming extremely challenging for a brand manager today to handle all of that. So to get a mind space in the consumer, I think the most critical job on hand for a brand manager is to get a mind space in the consumer's mind. I think
True.
with the increasing clutter, it's becoming that much more challenging. Also, the
Mhm.
media landscape is changing rapidly. Now from television, so earlier we had print, and then when television came, everyone said the print is going to die, but print is
Mhm.
still alive, live and kicking and
Yeah.
thriving. Then radio was reborn with FM, and now radio is as a medium is also doing quite well, and
Yeah.
out of home is yet another medium, and now television. Now we are talking about digital and OTT as a new medium, so video on demand. So there was a time when actually we would actually rush to say कि अरे 9 बजे मेरे को एक शो देखना है. We would leave everything and go and watch that show. But today I don't need to do. I can actually watch it at my leisure, maybe night 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, this on a weekend or so. Whatever content I want, I can watch it at my convenience, at my. I need not have any appointment viewing. And today, say pandemic, so a lot of things have changed with, like I said, with the advent of GST. So GST has brought in a lot of things into legality. So that has eased out better, and that's made it a level playing field. There were a lot of brands, a lot of players which were evading VAT. Pre GST
Okay.
term, there was VAT.
Mhm.
So they were
Yes.
evading, so they were able to give better prices. But with
Yeah.
GST, things have evened out, so it gives a
Okay.
better advantage. Then demonetization happened, so that also ensures that there is a relatively low cash transactions, with government focusing and promoting UPI and 4G, all this, and now 5G. The digital transactions have shot up. Pre-COVID and post-COVID, they have skyrocketed to a different level altogether. That's how things have changed as in a big way. And importantly, what we have noticed is, because of these changes,
Mhm.
again, consumerism is also changing. And now, suddenly, post COVID, we've seen consumer habits change from
Mhm.
offline to a lot more online.
Online.
So
Yeah.
groceries, a lot of groceries, a lot of stuff, electronics, or across categories, be it footwear, be it apparel, or whatever, is being ordered online. So because consumer is
Yes.
seeking a lot of convenience, they, because everyone has got a limited time, and that time they want to spend quality time with things that they love, instead of saying "Ki, I want to go shopping, I want to get vegetables, I want to buy groceries and spend 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. They don't want to spend time on that. They say, okay,
Mhm.
now I can press of a button, I can actually order this, and I can save this 2 3 hours, and I can do something creative, something productive during that time. So e-commerce is become a new trend, and that's again changing. So digital advertising, so OTT is become a new thing. Connected TV is something that is again a part of the changing media landscape. So in all these ways, the life or the task for a brand manager has
Has
become
become much.
extremely challenging, and I'm
True.
sure it is going to get a lot more complex and a lot more challenging and difficult as we
Yeah.
progress in the coming years.
Thanks for highlighting that. And now, since this job is a little complicated of allocating budgets across so many different channels, what would be your advice, or how do you ensure that your brands are there across all these different platforms? Is there some magic recipe for that?
Yeah, our policy is very simple. We want to be there. We want to be seen with our brands wherever the eyeballs are there. So if the eyeballs are on television, we'll be there for sure. If the eyeballs are moving to digital, we'll be there as well. So we just identify the mass platforms where
Hmm.
we can showcase our brands. So there
True.
isn't really any. I think it's a very basic philosophy that
Hmm.
we want our brands to be seen where our consumers are. If consumers are shifting away from television, there are a lot
Hmm.
of consumers who now do not watch television. They have
Yes.
connected, they have smart TVs now. So for example, with a smartphone, and during COVID times, so it became extremely important for every member of the household to have a gadget, be it a smallest phone or the mid-sized tablet or the laptop, desktop, whatever it is. So it became extremely critical for every member of the household. Earlier, parents would say, refrain child to have a mobile, but now
Yeah.
they were forced to give it to them along with unlimited data. So which
Hmm.
means you have inculcated habit of digital amongst the children, amongst all members of the household. Now
Hmm.
that habit, though we have started offline colleges and institutions, but that habit has continued, and there is that much more consumption of content. So from that perspective, I think it has become extremely important to address audience or viewers on every platform. So if there are certain markets, print still does very well, so we do choose print as a vehicle. Certain markets, we may want to do, like, some activation or some other kind of a promotion. And in modern
Hmm.
trade, we treat modern trade very very differently. E-commerce advertising is also very very critical. So if you are on any e-commerce portal, we do visibility on those platforms. So we want
Nice.
to be seen wherever our brands are available, and there is a possibility of our brands getting picked up.
That's really good. Yeah, we see lots of ads across various platforms, YouTube, etc. So thanks at least for stating that and helping the brand marketers. Let's say if you were given this magical ability of traveling back in time and you went back to the year 1995, where the young Krishna Rao just graduated from his B school and became an MBA, what would you tell this young Krishna Rao to do it differently this time?
A very very difficult question. Frankly speaking, I think I would have said the young Krishna Rao to be a lot more humble. So
Hmm.
I think that's something that's I think that is something I would have definitely advised. Other than that, I don't think I would have suggested anything else.
Wonderful. Thanks for answering that.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing which I would like to ask you is imagine that you're being watched live by millions of people today. What is the most important learning of your life that you would like to share with these marketers and growth leaders?
I think when we as professionals, or even as an individual or an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
when we think of any idea, so I am saying, please let us not start by saying, Ki, let us do this and we'll make so much money.
Hmm.
I think that should never ever be the target.
True.
We should always have a thought process, and this is more so to every individual and every entrepreneur,
Hmm.
that I want to make this world a better place.
Hmm.
Okay, and here is what I have an idea, and with this idea I want to make my people around me happy. I want to make my prospects or my consumers happy. Again, I'm saying money will happen, will fall in place. So there is a consideration. Once I am offering somebody something, obviously
Hmm.
I'm going to get some money and so, but that
Yeah.
should not be at the core. The core
Hmm.
should be, how am I going to improve your life?
Yes.
So by offering a better product, you will feel happy. By offering a better service, you will feel happy. So whenever you come up with some anything, don't say कि बस चल ये करते हैं और अपन पैसा बनाएंगे. No, That should be not ever the objective. So my advice is just focus on offering and making the world around you a better place, and I think rest all everything will fall in place.
Thank you. A really, really nice message, making world a better place. That's wonderful. Thanks a lot, Mr. Krishna Rao, for joining us today. This were really amazing learnings. Not only the last one of making world a better place, but having a positive mindset, thinking more about the consumers before yourself. Those are some amazing lessons which we have learned today on this particular talk with you. So thanks a lot for joining us, and we are really grateful for you for having you on this particular show.
Thank you so much, Kausal. The pleasure is entirely mine. And I wish you and everyone at Infidigit and the Growth Genius a wonderful journey and a success. I'm sure, again, the Growth Genius and Infidigit will bring in some value addition to the people around you and around in the country and outside the country, across the globe. And it
Thank
will make a better place for everyone. Thank you once again.
Thanks a lot. Those are blessings itself. Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Growth Genius. I hope you learned more about growth and marketing from Mr. Krishnarao Buddha today. I also hope that you implement his teachings of positive energy, making others happy, thinking bigger than life, and addressing the needs of the consumers. If you did, please share the most important takeaway from today's talk in the YouTube comment section below. Thank you. Now go out there and create growth for yourself and your organization. See you next week.